Dean Watson. I'm the owner of the Signature Group real estate team in Keller Williams in Fayetteville. And I wanted to come on here for a couple of minutes and give you guys some tips on how to get your offers accepted during this crazy time in the real estate industry. I also want this video to dub over for people who own homes here to understand what buyers are willing to do right now to win your home. All right, so let's get going. First and foremost, almost every single seller is going to want to see a decent amount of earnest money and what we in North Carolina call due diligence money. I could get into the differences and I'll do that in another video, but please understand that that is the seller's way to know that you are a serious buyer in today's market. Now, I know as a buyer, it's a little unsettling to give up money before you actually know that you're going to be able to complete the sale, because who knows? Home inspection repairs could happen, things could go wrong during the transaction, and I know that your biggest concern is what happens with my money if things actually go south. Now, from a seller's perspective, the seller is going to want that trust money or due diligence money or earnest money or whatever it's called in your state to understand that you have skin in the game, to make it harder on you to back out if things just get a little weird. That is their collateral to take their home off the market for you while you go through the process to purchase it. So I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page for one simple fact. How much you give is totally up to you and the seller. It's always negotiable. But I will tell you that right now in North Carolina, in our area of North Carolina, we are seeing earnest money and due diligence deposits for upwards of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. I've even seen $15,000. So if you don't have enough money to be able to put that up for collateral and perform home inspection repairs and things like that, you might want to consider actually taking a little bit of a timeout, saving more money, and then coming back into the market when you're more able to compete. Now, like I said, everything is negotiable. You could get a seller who doesn't want that much. But on average, what we're seeing right now is a few $1,000s in due diligence money up front for a seller to consider your offer. All right, so let's move on to number 2. The second biggest thing that people are doing right now to win offers in this competitive market is going above asking price. Now, some of you might think, okay, I'll go $1,000, $2,000, and I'm telling you right now, that's just not enough. We are seeing buyers go 10, 15, I just had to go 30,000 over asking price on a property for me to even win it. Now, here's what I want you to understand. That is what it takes to compete fiercely for properties that are prime real estate in great locations. We still have homes that are sitting on the market for a couple weeks that you might be able to not have to do that and get a deal on. But for the most part, that is what people are having to do right now to win offers. They're having to go over asking price. Now, in addition to going over asking price, what they're also having to do is do what's called an appraisal gap contingency. An appraisal gap basically means that if you go over asking price and the home does not appraise, that you, the buyer, are still willing to pay that money cash out of pocket so the seller can still get the price that you promised them. That is also very common right now, and it's something that people are having to do in order to win in these multiple offer situations. Those two are the most common thing. The other couple of things that you're going to have to do most likely is to pay your own closing cost. That's on average about 3% of the price of the property, and the sellers are no longer paying that. The sellers are also no longer paying for home warranties. So the home warranty could cost you up to $700. A lot of them are between $5,000 and $6,000, but home sellers are no longer having to pay those costs. Now I'm going to give you a couple of other things that people I'm seeing are willing to do in order to win those homes in great locations, in great condition in our area. Next thing that we have started to see is that people are foregoing their home inspection repair period. So they're basically saying we will have a home inspection, but it is for informational purposes only, and we will not be asking you to make any of those repairs. Now, as a home seller, you guys, if you own a home here, this is great news, because it basically means that people are walking into the property in an as-is condition and you are not necessarily having to do those repairs. As a buyer, you need to understand there's a risk involved in that. So we can go into all of that. If you guys have any questions about this, please reach out to me personally and I will help you through this and answer whatever questions you have. Now, the next thing as a buyer and as a seller that you need to know people are doing right now is they're actually sometimes paying your closing costs as a seller. I'll tell you, in order to win the property that my husband and I just put an offer in on, we're actually paying the seller's closing fees as well. Now, I'll tell you, when it came down to it, we were so close with offer number 2. We were actually offer number 2 for a minute. And then we realized we needed to step up our game in order to win the property we wanted, and we did that. So as a buyer, you have to understand that you're competing with another person, meaning that the cost is going up for you to be able to enter that property. As a seller, what's happening right now is we're not seeing the 20, 30, 40 offers like we were before, but we are seeing a couple of people who are fiercely competitive for your property. Now, you might get your closing costs paid out of that. I've also seen people offer what's called a rent back, where they allow you as the seller to stay for another month or two to find another place to go. And guys, if you're buying a home, a lot of people are offering rent backs for free, meaning that you're still paying the mortgage as the buyer, and that seller is now occupying the property for a couple of months without paying you, because that's what it takes to win. So I'm going to end this so we don't go for too long, but those are some of the key things that we are seeing people have to do right now to compete in today's marketplace as a buyer. Now, later on, I'll do a video for those of you who own homes here on what you can expect as a seller in today's market. But I do know that PCS season is coming up, and a lot of you might actually be considering selling your homes. And if you are, please reach out to us. We will help you through the process on what you need to repair. We'll also help you get contractors out to your properties, and we'll just tell you what your home is worth without any obligation. So if you want to know what your home is worth, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you. You don't have to list with us or even list your home for sale. If you're just curious, that's okay too. All right, you guys, I hope you all have an amazing month. Stay warm out there and stay informed.